Welcome, everybody. Hello, hello. This is Ximena. My name is full name Ximena Gavino, and I am honored to be at Master Sha Dao Center, Vancouver, with a very special guest, none other than none other than Peter Hudoba. And today we're actually going to talk about Tao Secrets. So Tao Secrets are ancient teachings on which many of the disciplines and the arts that we are familiar with. So disciplines would be, for example, calligraphy, feng shui, the I Ching, some of the Tai Chi, right? Some of the Tai Chi, the Shaolin Kung Fu, traditional Chinese medicine. So many. There's a very long list, actually. Those are based on these ancient called traditional Tao teachings. Yeah, and they include several what are considered universal laws that explain how the universe works, how it's formed, how it works. So one aspect of those teachings included teachings for longevity. And there are many books, some highly credible and some that may not be more in the story telling genre, about ancient masters, revered ancient Chinese saints who practiced these arts of longevity, who did these ancient practices. And on their tombstones are the dates of their birth and their death. And some of them are in the several hundreds, if not more. These secrets have been kept secret. They've been kept secret for a reason, because you need to really know how to use them in order to make sure that you don't hurt yourself, don't hurt others. And also because the reason that those were made available is so that those who were learning them would have greater abilities to serve. Dr. and Master Zhigang Sha, I was actually going to start by introducing him, but then I changed my mind in the middle. So Dr. and Master Zhigang Sha, I'm going to show you his picture on the back of his book. So this is Dr. and Master Zhigang Sha a few years ago. This is the cover of his book, Tao 2, The Way of Healing, Rejuvenation, Longevity, and Immortality. He has written 3 books that specifically focus on these ancient Tao secrets. And the one that we're going to be talking about today with Peter Hudoba is the Tao Classic of Longevity and Immortality. This book is available on Amazon. Grab it, order it, get it on Kindle, get it in paper, it's a hardcover book. It's a beautiful book, but what's powerful are the practices, and they're very specific practices that Master Sha is giving you. So my guest is Peter Hudoba. Peter wrote this book a few years ago that was it was amazing. It was actually, I think, a bestseller, Shen Medicine, Changing Messages of Illness to Health as Told by a Neurosurgeon. And the foreword was by Master Sha. So this book was written by Peter. It says, Peter wondered why medical science had no lasting solutions for some illnesses. He explored alternative healing modalities, but the holy grail of a comprehensive healing system eluded him. Finally, he reached a new understanding of the root causes of illness, and indeed of all the challenges and struggles in our lives. Shen Medicine is his frontline report on his breakthrough discovery and the solution that followed. In this book, Peter shares practical tools and techniques, as well as dozens of heart-touching cases of this new approach to health and life transformation. This book is for all healthcare practitioners, caregivers who want to do a better job for their clients and patients. This book is for you if you are searching for better health and greater happiness in any part of your life. So Peter, I'll read you the inside cover, lives here in Vancouver, has been highly successful as a neurosurgeon, university professor, medical researcher, and student of ancient Eastern wisdom. He moved from Czechoslovakia to Canada, and his passion for research is evident in the many studies he has presented in conferences and professional journals. He has received 7 international awards for his outstanding contributions in research, and he left the university milieu to serve as president and CEO of Shao Research Foundation, where he continues to serve as the leading researcher on the effects of spiritual blessings and self-healing protocols on physical and emotional conditions, including life-threatening and chronic incurable conditions. He is a lifelong Tao scholar and practitioner with additional deep study of Asian energy healing systems. So Peter is a leading master teacher of Tao Academy, personally trained by Dr. and Master Sha, a world-renowned healer, spiritual teacher, and 11-time New York Times bestselling author. Master Sha has written over 30 books now. So Peter's mission is to help everyone to regain and maintain good health, happiness, and reach enlightenment. He's also written a book called My Enlightenment Journey with Master Sha. So he studied Tao wisdom, ancient secrets, starting at the age of 13, and he has actually translated many of the what are considered the classics in these teachings. And of course, he's been studying with, training with Dr. Sha, serving with Dr. Sha for the last 22 years. Today, we're going to talk about Tao secrets for longevity and immortality, which is the topic in this book, Tao Classic of Longevity and Immortality. There's so much in the news now about biohacks and functional medicine, and honestly, it's kind of hard to keep up. So my question to Peter when he comes on is going to be, why study the Tao, the ancient Tao secrets? Why has he preferred that? So please welcome Peter Hudoba. Welcome, Peter. Thank you so much. Okay, so this book, Tao Classic of Longevity and Mortality, is the third in a series of books that Dr. and Master Sha wrote. Tao 2 is, of course, the second book, and Tao 1 is the first book that he wrote, revealing some ancient teachings about how we boost our energy, our stamina, our vitality, how we develop what's called a Jindan. Why are you studying the Tao secrets?
Thank you, Kim.
Why did you start at 13?
Well, why I did that when I was 13, I have no idea. Why I pursued for so many years, I have no idea either. But I have to say that I've been studying both allopathic medicine, conventional medicine. I've been fairly successful in it. And I have been studying also the ancient Taoist practices and Buddhist practices, for that matter. Also, I achieved some level of understanding and practical achievements. Why would I continue to do that despite I was a high-level ranking professional? simply because I could see the two things. First of all, the ancient practices of Tao has been here for about 4,500 years, 5,000. The lineage which I belong to is 4,500 years, uninterrupted lineage. It's a long tradition, and people would not do something for such a long time if it doesn't work. People are not stupid. It's easy now to go across Atlantic when you have a computerized running ship. Columbus is a small bucket, wooden bucket with a compass to go across Atlantic. That required a little bit more skills rather than let the satellites navigate you. Yeah, and computers running your ship. It's a little bit of different skill required. And so ancient people were not stupid just because they didn't have computers, which we have now. They were actually very smart. And they would do only things which actually worked. And they would abandon right away something which doesn't work because they had to survive the way they were. We, in this modern age, are having the many notions scientifically proven, which we abandon very quickly. There was a lot of science done about the spinach, how important it is. I remember even the cartoons, this sailor drinking spinach. Remember that, Ximena? But then suddenly there was research done that is not so good. Actually, it can harm you. There was a lot of research done and very nice papers about the powdered milk is better than something has been here for several millions, proven it works. So even our son was brought up on the powdered milk, to my big dismay and feeling of guilt. Now we know that the mother's milk is much better than the scientifically proven formulas. It didn't take more than 2 decades, and we found out it was rubbish. There were studies done that the eggs are very harmful for your heart. There were new studies done, they are saying that actually eggs are great for your heart. So what do you think? I mean, if the scientific stuff is available here for 2 decades and then it is overcome right away as it was something not right, how can you believe it with 100%? You look at the studies which are done about the Coca-Cola. Half of the research is done. It says that Coca-Cola is harmful. Actually, it's good for you. The half of the research studies say that it is harmful. So what do you believe? We just can't agree on such a simple thing like eating eggs. Or eating butter. Butter has been said it's bad. We need to replace it by margarine. Now we know the margarine is bad. We need to replace butter with butter. I have a head spinning to know as a researcher what is right and what is wrong. And I am not anti-research. Please don't make me wrong. This week I was looking for something from my papers I done a few years ago, and I found out that my paper is now listed officially, which we done in 1984, a brain surgery implanting a chemotherapeutics in brain. We were first in the world. Nobody's done that before. Directly in the brain tumor to put the capsule with a chemotherapy. It was a pioneering work, 1984. It's almost the research we've done 40 years ago. So I am not somebody talking nonsense. I mean, I have some experience to see what works, what doesn't, even in my short time. And so how about the Taoists who have been here for 5,000, 7,000 years? The tradition has passed down. If you look in the Taoist book, a compilation, it's called the Tao Zhang. It has 1,500 books, and they actually left in it everything. And they described, we tried this method, it didn't work. We tried this method, it works. And generation after generation was trying and compiling and trying and compiling. So we know from Taoist tradition that there are things that didn't work, and we keep them for next generation so they know, don't go this way, it didn't work. But we keep also passing down from master to master the things that worked. They worked for 5,000 years, and consecutive generations of the people have proved they are very effective. I think it's much better to believe something has been verified for so long time than something which is overcome every few years or so. What do you think?
Amazing, Peter. I was listening to you like, wow. All right. So what I took away from this is that pretty much we can research anything. You can pretty much research, this is good, this is bad. Somebody else comes around. What was bad before was good, and what was good was bad. Something like the Taoist teachings, the Tao teachings, the Tao secrets, they have been very transparent. What you just said to me is they were transparent. Their book, the 15, I don't remember how many books are part of it, 1,500, I think you said. It includes not only what their successes were, but also includes the mistakes, because they want the future generations don't go down that path. So they want everyone to stand on their shoulders and keep evolving the wisdom to help humanity. That's very profound. That shows the heart, the purity of the heart of the practitioners, because the focus is on the well-being of humanity. That's very profound. That's very, very profound. As I was listening to you, I was like, wow, that's amazing. The only other person that I've met that has that kind of altruism is Dr. and Master Shah. And he reveals in his books unbelievable secrets that haven't been revealed in print, at least, I don't believe. So Peter, what if you could focus on one or two things that are part of the Tao secrets that would be of support or help, that would, one, help people understand what do we mean by Tao secrets, and two, that would actually help them with their healing journey or with their spiritual journey?
When I was fascinated by this as a young man, and I was very fortunate that I received the ancient books in my very young age. So I was in early 20s when I got the book Yellow Emperor Canon of Internal Medicine. It's about 5,000 years old book. It's a Taoist book about healing. And I was trying to find out what is that big secret, what they are doing. They are puffing like dragons on the ridge of the big mountain. That's what I heard. And so I was looking for these type of secrets. And then I opened the book, and on the front page, actually first chapter starts to speak about what is the secret of the Tao, longevity. And they said that modern people, they go to the bed late, they booze, they drink, they have entertainment until late in the night, and then have a private sex life when they are under influence of alcohol, and then they spend their energy by going to the bed at late hours and eating to the full. And that shortens the life. And the true immortals, they go to bed early. And they get up early, and they eat simple food, and they moderate their activities. And I was thinking, oh, gee, this is it. This is that big secret. The longevity is that you go to bed early. That is my dream. This is so easy. I mean, my grandpa used to do that. You know, they had no electricity, so when there was dark outside, they blew off the candle and went to bed. He lived a long life, but I wouldn't think that that was a secret. It must be some mystery, yeah. But then later on, I think I was already here, I guess, in America. The new papers came out about circadian rhythm. And I learned with great amazement that during the day we have stress hormones released, like adrenaline and noradrenaline, for fight and flight response. You know, then we have to fight for our survival, or we run away. And so for that, our body releases these hormones, and they eat the body. They to produce glucose for fighting or running. So we eat our muscles, eat our cells, and so forth. In the night, we have other type of hormones, anabolic hormones released. They are restoring body. So they are like two opposites. One are eating body, so we can fight or fly away, and others are recreating the body in the night. And this research showed actually those hormones are released only when we sleep between 10 and 12 midnight. If we don't sleep in those 2 hours, we miss the train. The boat is gone. We will not produce hormones to restore our body. Guess what? Guess what? We regenerate our body when we sleep between 10 to 12 in the evening. And if we don't sleep the time, we don't regenerate. We are dying young. How amazing. Tell me how these old masters 5,000 years ago knew that. And we know that, but who uses this wisdom?
Well, that's the thing, right, Master Peter, is that, if I may, I would say that the old masters had reverence for the body. They had reverence for the wisdom. We're, if you look at things like biohacking, we're trying to cause the body to do things. We're trying to, what's it called? Fool the body into doing something, right? So are we really respecting the body? Are we respecting the wisdom? Are we aligning, the whole follow nature's way? And maybe you could talk about that principle in the Tao of the Tao is such a fundamental teaching. Follow nature's way, right? Is that really in alignment? The biohacking. I'm not passing judgment. I'm just, as I'm listening to you, I'm just wondering about all of this. Yeah.
I have no idea. This is first time I hear about it.
Yeah.
I am a fairly busy man, and I watch very narrow aspect of the science and these modern trends and fads. I have no idea. Simply, I don't know what is the principle, what they are trying to do. But I can say that I have been married successfully with my wife for decades. I don't think I can fool her. She's very smart, very intelligent. I deeply respect her. I don't know how could I fool her body. I don't know who can miss that idea, but whatever. They probably know what they are doing, and I hope they do, and something good will come out. And if not, at least we will know this is not the direction to go. One way or another, the humanity will gain some knowledge from that. Yeah.
Okay, so then explain, because I think it's an important concept. Follow nature's way. It's a fundamental concept. Tao teaching. Follow nature's way.
Yes, it is. The follow of nature's way, there is a basic principle already in that book was written in the Yellow Emperor canon, that we need to be aligned with the nature, follow the nature's way. And so how we aligned? The same way as trees, the same way as bears. The bears or trees are aligned with the nature. We are not. So example is that farmers in the old times, not now, everything is now totally confused, but they followed the rhythm of the nature. In the spring, they would come out, they would plow the fields, they would work hard, the same as other nature. They were also preparing the soil to be fertile, so they can plant the seed. The same way the birds were preparing for mating, and flowers were blooming and inviting the bees, and the rest of nature was going into the big fertility time. And then the nature was full of it, and the farmers were full of that activity, planting the seeds. And then through the summer, they would carry on and grow. And the same, the nature was growing through the summer. In the fall, the farmers would harvest. The same way as the birds were preparing, fattening up so they can fly to south, bears were fattening up so they can go hibernate. The whole nature was harvesting. And in the winter, farmers would what? They would milk the cows, feed the stock, and repairing the utensils, but they would take it easy. A bear would hibernate. The nature was sleeping and resting. And then in the spring, the whole thing would start again. So farmers used to be very well attuned to the flow of the nature. Not nowadays, and definitely not us. We are completely desynchronized. Many people are playing games, video games, until very early in the morning, then are drinking 10 coffees a day just to keep going. And that's how the life become. Summer, winter, the same activities. And we are totally out of tune with the synchrony of the nature. That's so simple.
It is, and I was just listening to you thinking the simplicity of this mirrors the simplicity of the practices. So I've got the books here. So it mirrors the simplicity of the practices here. So in this book, Master Sha actually provides you with practices to heal the body. So what's unique about, what I think is unique about Master Sha, and there may be others who do this, but from the very beginning, 21 years ago when I met Master Sha, I quickly understood that the practices that he was teaching for healing and the practices that he was teaching for the spiritual journey were exactly the same. And so you didn't have to learn two sets of practices. You follow him. He gives you a practice that's going to help you, because everybody needs a strong foundation. So one of the things that you're talking about is, if you don't sleep at the right times and for the right amount of time, you don't have a strong enough foundation. So then you ingest, like you said, 10 coffees to get you revving and motivated, and what's that called? Kind of revving at a higher pace, right? You want to get the creativity flowing and the answers to whatever work challenges are coming up. But if you do the simple practices in Master Sha's in his books, simple practices, for instance, to build your foundation, that simple practice is going to serve you. Is going to serve literally all aspects of your life. It's going to serve your physical journey. It's going to serve your spiritual journey. It's going to serve your relationships. It's going to serve your finances. It's going to serve your business, whatever it is that you're wanting to transform in your life. One simple, very simple practices. Then you kind of stack them and you do a series of them, and then there's real transformation that happens. Yeah. So, Peter, that you were going to be teaching a workshop called Tao Secrets of Longevity, an advanced retreat for your healing and spiritual journey. And that's going to be on July 9th and 10th, right? Friday
Correct.
and Saturday. And so we want to invite everybody to save the date, and we're waiting for the links to register. So we'll come back to this video, and as soon as they're ready, we'll post them. But we're going to do another Facebook live event next week, and we're going to be putting out some additional information about this workshop. So we want to invite, first of all, Peter, I want to thank you so very much for taking time. I know you're very busy. We had a little chat before we started, and oh my gosh, so much happening for Peter. So thank you very much for taking the time, first of all, to do this, and thank you for taking the time to do the workshop. I'm very excited to join with you to bring these secrets, as many of them as we can in those 2 days, to everybody who will be joining us. Anything you want to say about the workshop before we close?
Yes. So thank you. The workshop will be a little different than what we were talking today. First of all, we are going to teach wisdom from the book, not ancient Taoist wisdom, but Master Sha teaching is perfectly aligned with the old wisdom, but he made it actually very relevant for modern life. So it is very practical. Don't worry, you are not going to learn some ancient things, 5,000 years old. No. This is going to be modern stuff. The very well prepared Master Sha system, and also there will be lots of practices. So we will literally wine you and dine you in the special frequencies, vibrations. You will learn techniques. You will practice with us. It will be hands-on. It will. You're not listening to the old guy from the mountain. It will be hands-on practice. So we will teach you actual techniques. You can improve your well-being. So just join us. This is going to be great.
Yeah, I want to show a picture, Peter. One of these pictures. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, I had it marked at my copy's marked. This one is the center's copy. Let's see. Can't find it. I wanted to show you. There's some key energy. There's key centers in the body, and there's the practice that Master Sha has you do in this book. Literally lights them up. So you light up the body. That is amazing. Those are the kinds of practices that we want to share with you, teach you. Let me see if this one might be one. Can you see that? Can they see that?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, so that's one of the practices that we will be doing. That's a key point in the body, the Ming Men point. So what I always say to people, the Tao wisdom is based on ancient 5,000-year-old teachings, but these are modern practices, as Peter said, for modern life, so that you can benefit, learn them. They're so simple to do, but consistency is the key. So join us, save the dates, July 9th and July 10th. We will be with one of the great Tao masters of the Tao Academy, which is the educational arm of Dr. and Master Sha's organization. Love you, Peter. Thank you so much. Love you, everyone. Thank you for joining us. And we will see you again next week on another Facebook Live with Peter Hudoba. And save the dates, July 9th and 10th. We look forward to serving you. Bye-bye.